To begin chanting Om together one time. Sit up tall, close your eyes and find your center again and again and again in your spine, in your breath, at the center of your mind. Inhale deeply. For a moment, be still, be quiet, be nothing. Our whole life we're trying to be something, but this trying is the problem. To be yourself is effortless. So, first to become nothing, and then life will dance through you, with you, in you. But all this imitating someone else or trying to be like this or more like this or fix this or change this or do this, it will never end. There will never be one change which will be enough. I always still have to fix this and do this and everything. So just take a break. For a short moment, just be still. Perfectly still. Without reaching for anything outside of this moment. Where is the present moment? Present moment is not in this room. The present moment is everything everywhere at once. Everything at once is the present moment. It cannot be understood. It cannot be seen. It cannot be conceptualized. Every cell and molecule and atom, every planet and galaxy, every insect and all the different thoughts and dreams of all the fish and all the birds at once. Everything simultaneously at once. The present moment is not mine. It's not another ego story. So all we can do is merge into the present moment, like you get into the ocean. Do you understand the ocean? No. Impossible. Impossible to understand what is the ocean, what is water. Actually, impossible to get any peace or happiness from the mind and thoughts, because the thoughts are not real. The objects of the mind are not real. In your mind, you think about the ocean. Is that the real ocean? No. In your mind, you have a concept of flower. Is that a real flower? No. It's an abstraction. That flower doesn't exist anywhere, ever. In fact, there's no such thing as a flower. The flower doesn't exist as a separate object. The plant, part of the plant's life process is flowering. Flower is just a part of this life system, but it doesn't have a separate existence. But in our mind, we have a concept of flower. That it's not real. It will never be real. Every map is a distortion. You can't live inside of a map. And so you will never find the peace, the love, the happiness you're looking for with the mind, with thoughts, ideas, philosophy. But if for one moment you can drop all the words of all the languages that have ever been spoken and just be still, then you experience that you are the peace, you are the wisdom, you are the love. It's in your cells, in your organs, in your bones, in your eyes, in your breath. And so, the whole life we've been trying to get there. They told us it's over there. The goal is over there. It will be better over there. You'll be happy. You'll be peaceful. You'll be better. Life is better over there. I'll be better, my better self, my real self. Everything is over there somehow. Wherever that is. We don't know where it is. Where is it? Everything is over there. In the past or in the future. So what is the past? What is the future? My idea of the past is not the past. Right? In my mind, I know a few little details about life. I weave them together into a story. But my idea of the past is just a small little fragmented distortion of a partial, of essentially nothing, like a speck of dust. Because the past is everything that's happened everywhere. Even in my own life, I only pick and choose a few little stories and I weave together something and call that the past. Is that the past? No. Nobody else shares the same version, story, fantasy of the past as you do. Not even the people living with you, not your family, not your friends, no one. Everyone has their own fantasy. And so my idea of the past is not the past. And of course, the same goes for the future, because in my mind, certain calculations and predictions and probabilities, I paint some idea of some future, but nobody else can share that. Nobody else knows it. And my idea of the future is not the future. So over there is actually like a dream. It's not possible to get there. You never arrive. You'll never arrive there. So the only possibility of arriving is here and now. Only possibility. Everything else is we call once upon a time. Sounds good. Yeah. Oh, soon I'm going to be better. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be happy. Everything sounds good. Once upon a time. Or the good old days. Once upon a time in the good old days. But life is here and now. And so, this is why we are sharing about this path of here as opposed to the path of over there. Right? When the goal of life is over there, then here and now is just a stepping stone, a way to get there. Here and now is not important. It's just a way to get over there. And so the whole orientation, the whole way of seeing, the whole rhythm of life, the whole intention behind life is different. And so that's why we want to question, is the goal really over there? Right? If you want to go and buy something, you have to know where to find it. Which store is going to sell it, or where online you can find it. But if you always go to the wrong place, then you never find what you're looking for. So we've been told that success is over there. The goal is over there. Happiness is over there. But it's not true. It can't be true. And so, this is why we recommend dedicate a little time each day to be present, to cultivate this depth, the poise, right? Not about posing. Posing is a show we put on for others to get their approval. Poise is a depth of being, of rootedness, a groundedness within yourself, to be at home within yourself. When you're at home within yourself, you have a natural poise. You don't have to pose. And so, if it's possible, we should do it for sure. If it's possible to be in tune with life, to be in tune with myself, where my mind and heart are working together, not only working together, they're playing, they're dancing together. They love one another, they're helping each other out. My body is working together with my mind. Everything, my willpower, everyone is working together. If we can, for sure you can brush your hair and make your hair nice. You can wash your clothes get nice. You clean your room, your room gets nice. Can you clean yourself, your inner self? This is a working hypothesis. If it's possible, then we have to do it. If we don't do it, then we have no excuse if we feel like off or sick or disconnected, right? Because we haven't taken care of the basic necessity. You don't water the garden, then the garden should shrivel up and die. And so, from this point of view, the daily practice is a kind of nourishment. Yeah, we eat the food with our mouth, we eat so many things with our eyes and so many sounds with our ears, but the practice, the daily yoga, this yoga practice is an alchemy where you're activating the subtle energy in your cells, in your organs, in your glands. And so when you eat food, you have to digest it and break it down, assimilate it, absorb it, and then it becomes raw material. But unless you activate the raw material, then it just sits there. So the practice is taking those raw materials that were accumulated during the process of eating food, and then it's transforming them into energy and into light. And so it's actually literally part of the nourishment. Because it's not just shoving food in our mouth that constitutes eating and nourishment. We have to digest it and assimilate it, then we have to activate it. We have to take that, whatever it is, the proteins and carbohydrates and enzymes, everything, all of that then needs to be activated and switched on, and then it becomes the life force. Then we become alive. So this is the presence and aliveness. Presence is a depth of being, and the aliveness is this creativity and joyfulness, playfulness. The children have these qualities, presence and alive. Not so much in the modern time because they're bombarded with all this heavy stories and everything now online from a very young age. But in general, the children have maintained this quality of presence and aliveness. And so all of the sages, all of the enlightened masters have said, to enter the kingdom, you must become like a child. What do they mean by this? They mean you must be present and you must be alive. You can't be dead. Most people are not really alive. And so to be healthy is different from not being sick. Just because I'm not sick, it doesn't mean that I'm healthy. Healthy is a presence of this aliveness, not the absence of something wrong. And so we must take responsibility for our garden, to nurture, to nourish, to cultivate your body, heart, and mind, and awaken the aliveness. That aliveness knows what to do. The aliveness is the superintelligence. The aliveness in the plant. In the seed you have that aliveness. That aliveness knows exactly how to do the roots and the leaves, exact perfect timing, when to flower, when to fruit, everything. Superintelligence. Same superintelligence is the one that's beating your heart and is doing the digestion and enzymes. Everything is the same, only one, the same one superintelligence of life. And so we don't know what to do, but life knows what to do. So the practice is by cultivating, accumulating that aliveness in your body, heart, and mind. It's a kind of light, and then that light will guide you. The aliveness will guide you, will lead you. We have lots of questions today. Let's dive in. What are the benefits of meditating sitting versus lying down? There are 4 positions for a human being: sitting, standing, lying, and moving or walking. And so there's meditation practice, corresponding meditation practice for each of these 4 positions. However, in most traditions, they're doing just sitting and walking. Some standing. Standing is very good. And lying is most difficult because lying is already hardwired into our brain at sleep time. Right? So as soon as you lie down, you close your eyes, it's like there's a kind of habitual sleepiness. And so very difficult to overcome that. And so it's not recommended to practice meditation lying down. Also, in terms of the evolution of the spine and nervous system, what's very unique about the human being as compared to all the other animals, the animals have a horizontal spine. Right? So this is very stable and balanced. The organs are relaxed, the breath is relaxed, and the spine is balanced under the pressure of gravity and everything. But now as a human being, we have the vertical spine. This is very different and very, very challenging. And so the journey is from the base of the spine to the top of the head. And so we have to tune, train, awaken the work with your spine. So sitting is the key. You can sit in a chair, you can sit on the ground. Basically, we want to be comfortable. We want it to be easy and we want to be comfortable. But this is a kind of a deep cleansing practice, like sitting in the fire. Meditation is like you make a fire, then you sit in the fire. And so But the key is a little bit every day. Right, here this is an immersion, so we're sitting many hours, right? But when you go, you'll probably only sit for like 20, 30 minutes, right, through the practice. And so there you do every day, 20, 30 minutes, and then over time it becomes natural. Like you pick up the violin every day, over time it becomes natural to hold the violin. Because we have to learn how to sit. We're sitting all the time, but if we're sitting with the improper posture, then it's actually detrimental, right? When we're all hunched over and twisted, blood is not flowing properly, the lungs can't breathe properly, the intestines are all compacted, right? And so we have to retrain proper way to hold the spine, like a bow and arrow, right? You have to cultivate the muscle memory and then the habit of being grounded, rooted. For lying down, we have yoga nidra practice. This is very good. This is a practice where you gradually release all the nerves, all the layers of your body. You dissolve layer by layer until it becomes just like one smooth spaciousness. This is done lying down. So you can do both. You can do your yoga, breathing, meditation, and then after yoga nidra practice, lying down also. What is the purpose of incense? Incense is one form of medicine. So we have different ways that we can connect with the herbs and the nature, and it's very healing. Like tea, drinking tea is another way. That way you take in the water and ingest it. Another way, you breathe it in. So when you breathe it in, it's touching certain parts of your brain that nothing else can touch. Right? The very deep layers of your brain and neocortex activated through smell. And nowadays, all of the smell is artificial. It's all chemicals or super concentrated oils, whatever. It's not. We're out of touch. We're not. Also, our way of life, our homes, everything is very sterile. Right, with all these chemicals, we're no longer living, we no longer have that connection with the earth. And so the incense is like a bridge is to bring us into that communion. This opens the doors of the spirit, touches the depths of the soul. Right? And it can be calming or energizing or relaxing or stimulating, exhilarating. No, there's different, but it's for awakening the soul, touching the deep parts of the brain. We know that smell is associated with very deep parts of memory. And so it helps to unlock and develop the sense. Because our sense of smell is underdeveloped, because of now again artificial and sterile and everything very chemical. But when you go into the forest, like if you go camping in the forest for a few days and you're smelling all of these deep, rich smells of the wood, right? It touches something inside. Again, this is a kind of nourishment. Like getting a massage. But it's a massage for your brain, for your soul. Incense. Incense is also used as offering. Or like a bridge, again, a bridge between the human world and the spirit world, or the world of the gods. How to get your self-confidence back. Yeah, first thing you have to tune yourself. Make sure that you're in tune. So every day, the recommendation is 2%, 30 minutes. 30 minutes, you can do about 10 to 12 minutes of posture, 5 minutes of breathing, another 12 minutes of sitting meditation. And then do that every day. For recommendation we give here now is 100 days. When you leave, do it 100 days, and then over the course of those 100 days, for sure you'll know if there's some benefit. And the benefit is not that you can touch your toes and do all kind of crazy acrobatics. The benefit is that when you're not practicing yoga and meditation, the other 23 hours, you feel more relaxed, you feel more creative. You're more in the flow, more efficient, setting boundaries better, and making better decisions, sleeping better. This is a sign practice is working. It has nothing to do with proving anything or impressing any. It's not, the practice is not for the purpose of a performance. The practice is for training to be present in the daily life. And so the test is in your daily life when you're not practicing. This is advanced practice. And so first thing is you have to make sure you're tuning yourself. Because the confidence is the aliveness in you, in your breath, right, in your spine, in your eyes, in your heart. And so you have to water your garden, nurture your garden. Don't worry about other people, right? Generally, we think about self-confidence in relation to others. We're always trying to prove something in relation to others. But when you're at home in yourself, then automatically you'll be confident without even thinking it or knowing it. Right? That's the thing. It's not like I have to force myself to be confident like this. No, when you're deeply at home in yourself, like when you get home after a long day, you get into bed, and it feels so nice. You feel like, so sweet to be in a nice, cozy bed. You feel that same way in yourself, in your body, in your heart, in your mind. When you wake up in the morning, you feel, such a joy to be myself. Without even thinking it, though. That's the thing. It's not an idea. It's a way of life. So to be at home in yourself. And so every day, set aside a little time to do your tuning practice, and then keep a journal, take notes. What are the things we have to see? What makes me feel confident? What makes me feel like unconfident? Right? What situation, what scenarios, what kind of people? And spend time around people who lift you up. When you're with positive people who want the best for you, then it like rubs off, right? You have that like secondhand confidence. And so it's aliveness, right? Play sports. Good idea, go play some sports. Or dancing. But also super important is you have to be able to laugh at yourself and not take it so seriously. Otherwise, very challenging. And this is most important, this playfulness, to keep that playfulness. That's why it's good to do something you're not good at, be bad at something. No, and to maintain that, to be able to laugh at yourself. Self-confidence isn't a thing. It's not a thing. It flows naturally when you're at home in yourself. When someone feels at home in themselves, then they're shining, then naturally their expression is one of true confidence, not a forced confidence also. We have many people, bravado and put on a show. That's not the real confidence. It's still approval from others. We don't need, again, chasing after approval from others or trying to prove something to others will never work. And so instead, focus on being at home in yourself. When you're at home in yourself, you forget yourself. It's not like, oh, I'm at home myself and I'm obsessing over like, oh, how does my arm look and my legs and no, you're not a single thought. The same way they say that when you're happy, you're not talking about happiness. Because you're living it. You're only talking about happiness, thinking about it when you're not happy. You're only thinking about peace when you're not peaceful. And the sugar doesn't even know its own sweetness. This is what they say. The sugar doesn't even know that it's sweet. So we have to live in this way. We don't even know. To be yourself. But this idea that you can figure it out, you find your true self, it's some like sentence or two, a definition, a role. It's like an obituary. Impossible. Impossible to figure it out. It's not an equation. It's not like a paragraph or a biography or a description or something. To be yourself is infinite. And so it's not possible to know, to put it into words, to categorize or anything. Next question. What is the purpose of life? How can I find it? Is there a purpose? So from the ultimate point, from the ultimate level, no purpose. Life has no purpose. Or the purpose is that which it is. Right? Recently I saw very clearly, we're under the wrong understanding that I have a life. Right? My life. What about my life? I have a life, this is my life. But actually, this is wrong. There's no I that's having a life. There's no separate I that's having something that's called a life. Really, the true statement is life is temporarily having a me. Life is temporarily manifesting through this me, as is through that tulip and that mango tree and that thing. So it's not me, there's no me that's so important, that's existing somewhere separate, that has a life. You see, it's a subtle point, but very important. Life is having a me, it's having a you, it's having a this, and these are, so this is the play of life. And so, from this point of view, the purpose of life is to be fully, authentically yourself. This is the biggest gift you could give, is to be truly yourself, just like the mango tree needs to be itself, the diamond needs to be itself, the river needs to be itself. And so the goal of life is to be present. That's the ultimate success. To be at home in yourself, to be present, to be yourself. But all of these things about the future, and the goal is in the future, and I have to succeed and achieve this and this and that, and have this and this and that, and it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for anyone. Has anyone reached yet a single person? The rich people, famous people, beautiful people, powerful people, still completely miserable. Elon Musk, any of these people, has it ever been enough? Has there ever been a moment where it's enough? Maybe some people achieve something in one aspect of their life, their career or their family or something like that. but then their personal life or their health or whatever. No, so we see that it's impossible. The goal is the goal line's always moving, and it's never enough. And so that's why the yogis recommend to start here and now. Because maybe then and there will come, maybe it won't. We have to see. But for sure we have here and now. And so if you can be present here and now, unlikely you'll be able to be present then and there. Whereas if you're angry all the time here and now, then for sure, most likely you'll be angry then and there. So first we have to deal with here and now. Everything else is we're just putting it off. It's a distraction. So you're wearing dirty clothes, you never wash your clothes, so how do you won't feel comfortable, you won't feel good if you have dirty, stinky clothes and stinky sheets. You'll never really feel at ease. So the same way, your heart and mind, like we have to clean our hearts and minds. We have to clean our body, our cells, our organs, our glands. Otherwise, it's like a trash heap. It's like we're living a dump. We're living in a dump. All these old negative thoughts, everything swimming around everywhere. And then you never feel at ease. And so that's why we want to reframe that the purpose of life, the goal of life, is not somewhere else, it's here and now. You're living it. You're in the process of living the purpose of life, each moment. Every single moment is the purpose. Every interaction. Every person you meet is a soulmate. Sometimes one small conversation will affect you, have a bigger effect in many years' relationship. So the purpose of life, you're living it. It's happening right now, today. So don't put it off. In a world where it is so easy to compare yourself to others, especially at an age where everyone seems to be going down the same path, how do you move forward and block out the external noise? This situation is actually in our benefit, because it becomes so obvious which way not to go. Right? It should be so clear now when we see what's going on around us and how everybody's completely mad. Then it's like, oh, okay. That helps to create a kind of this distinction. This is why they say in this time, what we call the Dark Ages, not the Golden Age. People think this is the Golden Age because everything is so convenient and shiny, but actually everything is empty and rotten inside. And so it looks shiny on the outside, but inside it's rotten. This is the Dark Ages. And so in this time, it's possible to make tremendous progress, right? Tremendous spiritual progress and evolution. Whereas in the Golden Age, it takes a very long time and it's very difficult because everything's relaxed, everyone's good, everything's like this. So actually this condition where we look around and we see everyone going down this path like that, then that can help us to take a step back. A good sports player is able to be totally focused in the game time. They can drown out everything. Everyone's shouting and yelling and waving things and whatever. Or they forget even they have some like health emergency or something going on in their family or whatever. They're just totally focused in the game in the moment. Same with the musician. So when you cultivate that depth of presence, then that will carry you through the life. That will protect you. That will guide you. Because we have to deal with this. We have to deal with all this noise and all this commotion and everything. And so You have to clean your nervous system regularly. You have to tune, you have to train, be in shape. Right? All this is coming at us, we have to release it again and again every day. And then the question is the answer. No, it's like, yeah, it's clear that we need to dedicate the time to be in this state of presence and aliveness, and then do whatever you need to do with your life. Actually, it's not, each one of us has our own unique story and mission to accomplish, and so many things to do in this lifetime. So there's no, to be free to do whatever you need to do in whatever way possible, but just make sure you're in tune. Right, like that. Like if you're going to play the violin, sure, play whatever music you want. You want to play rock and roll? You want to play classical music? Play whatever music that you want. But please, play in tune. No, so it's a question of tuning. So no matter what you're doing in the world, a politician or a doctor or a housewife or whatever, no, if you're out of tune, not only is it a problem for yourself, but it's a problem for everyone else around you. Right? You become a problem for everyone around you. And so that's why we say the greatest gift you can give is to be yourself, to be in tune, because then you give other people permission to be themselves, to be authentic. And that in-tuneness spreads the same way that the negativity spreads. We're so good at being negative, pointing out all the problems everywhere, right? But this in-tuneness, right, no matter what you do in the world, whatever path you're on, wherever you are, if it's possible, then tune yourself to be in tune, be in shape. And then see if it makes a difference. I've experienced that it does in my own life, tremendously. And I've experienced in the lives of many other people. But you have to find out for yourself, right, if it works. Next question. When will all the buzzing in my brain stop? No, the brain is meant for buzzing. Why stop? When you die. In a deep sleep maybe, when you die also, the brain will stop buzzing. But why are you focused on it? Ignore the buzzing brain. Like the AC is buzzing. Ignore the AC. This is the problem. We've been too much obsessed with all the noise of our mind. Our mind is like a spoiled, bratty child, whining, complaining all the time, right? And we've just been giving it some, like enabling it. We're enabling this crazy mind. We're enabling the buzzing mind. So don't enable that. You tell yourself it's not important. What the buzzing is not important. What's important is this presence. Stay with your breath. The breath is important. But to go into the buzzing mind, to go into all this, for what good? It's a training. Not like the army. They train and then they have this tremendous power, right? So we have to, it's like that. Really, yoga is more like army training than it is like chasing rainbows and butterflies in the park, in the forest. Right? It's a very methodical, regimented training to bring that presence into your spine, into your breath, into your nervous system, and so, yeah, let the brain buzz. But this is why also it's very good to do self-massage. You can do head massage, oil bathing on your brain, things like Shirodhara. Also things like walking in nature, listening to the insects buzzing. Right? Let the insects buzzing drown out your brain buzzing. It's the nervous system. When your nervous system is relaxed, then what you'll experience instead of buzzing is bliss. Like when you take ecstasy, right? And all of a sudden your body, your cells are just like an explosion, an orgasm of bliss, right? That buzzing in your brain, which now you experience as tension, then that turns into bliss. It's the same one. It's this, because that buzzing is the aliveness, is that essential aliveness. Right now, it's getting wasted on the repetitive thinking of unnecessary thoughts. Right? It's like a live wire. Right now, the aliveness, instead of building up inside of you and like that, is getting zapped in the thinking process. But it's just a question of training. You can train to play tennis, to play golf, to play the violin. For sure, you can train to be grounded, rooted, present within yourself. We just never did it. We were told that don't stop, go faster, do more, harder, more, it's not enough, keep going. And so there's been no importance given to presence, to being present. Why don't we chant Soham out loud? Is there a difference? If you're chanting out loud, you can't follow your breath. Here we're following the subtle breath. What you're doing is you're inserting that vibration into your spine. This is like a computer programming kind of thing. That vibration then will activate and do what it needs to do. You can do, there are periods you can chant out loud and stuff, but for the meditation portion, no. You could have a period of chanting out loud if you want. But the more powerful is the silent. You're inserting the vibration into your spine and nervous system, into your cells. And so when you follow the breath, it's not really the breath, it's the content of the breath. You have the breath is carrying something. The breath is not just the thing, the breath is moving, it's carrying something inside of it. Not just oxygen and carbon dioxide and everything. It's carrying within it that essence. And so through the breath, you're focusing on the essence. When your breath becomes beautiful, then you have so much kindness and light in your eyes and playfulness and joy. Then the inner beauty starts to shine. This is what we need. Everyone's focused on the outer beauty, and nobody's really buying it. You know, we have all these filters and all this plastic and everything, and everybody's trying to be something else. But when you are deeply at home within yourself, at a cellular level, right, then the beauty that it's like a nice fragrance and a lightness and to be around someone who is at home in themselves, who's at peace, is nothing compares to that. None of this superficial beauty. So we can do that also, but for sure, that inner beauty, to be at home in yourself. I have a very active mind, and I analyze and evaluate and judge a lot. How can I free myself from the constant judgment? Well, one is same as the daily tuning process. To tune your body, heart, and mind. Because the function of mind is judging. Mind is for judging, like, dislike, remembering. Right? This is the role of mind. And so it's good. We've all trained our mind, analyzing, evaluating, judging. That's good. What you need to do is to shift your energy from the mind to the awareness. Awareness in the heart. Because inevitably, everything we see we're going to judge, no matter what, unconsciously, subconsciously. We have memories, likes and dislikes from past experience. We're projecting that on everything unconsciously. Everything. Immediately, automatically. Everyone is doing it. We can't not do it. This is function of mind. And so, the idea is to take the energy from the mind and shift it, elevate it, sublimate it into this state of presence and awareness, where it's a kind of like an all-embracing, deep listening, receptive connection, connectedness. When you're in tune, you find the mind becomes much more quiet. Notice when we're out of tune, we want to attack everything around us and inside of us and everything. So the tuning process is so important. Tuning process, laughter, spending time in nature, journaling. But the mind that's judging is doing its work, it's doing its duty. But the mind is not for compassion and for love and peace and wisdom. That's from the heart. So again, that's why we have to cultivate the poise of the heart, the poise of awareness, a deeper presence and listening. How do you know that you are thinking? That you are not thinking and just be? You really actually only know it afterwards. In the moment of being, there's no knowing. Knowing only happens afterwards. So, most important is forget yourself. Forget your body, forget your age, forget your gender, forget your... And, there's a space between the words. If you look on this paper, people writing the words, all in between, all around, all the letters is a space. So what you have to do is shift from the objects to the space. Being is in the space. It's no concepts or words or ideas or philosophy or ism. There's no Buddhism in being. There's no yoga in being. It's like these great moments in life where we feel so alive, like when making love or when hiking or when playing sports. Right? You lose yourself in the moment. You have no sense of time. It could be a long time or a short time. You don't know. And being has this sublime lightness to it. Normally we feel very heavy. We wake up in the morning, body is heavy, drag it around here and there, mind is heavy, emotions, all emotions. So when you're in tune, everything feels very light, like you're floating. Your mind also is floating, your heart is floating. To be at ease, to be at home. So this is what we have to learn. You have to learn to taste the difference. Right, the same, if I threw some diamonds in front of you and I said, which one is the real one, which one is the fake one? You don't know, you have to study, you have to learn to be able to distinguish between things. In the same way, you have to learn to distinguish between being in tune and out of tune. You have to distinguish between thinking and presence. Once you know the flavor, once you can taste that, like, oh, I taste this, it tastes like mango, that tastes like strawberry. Once you know that flavor, you have to remember the flavor of presence. The problem is now we don't trust our own intuition. We don't trust our own inner knowing. And so there are many stages. First phase is we just have to listen. Right now we just totally ignore ourselves. We're not paying attention. So first phase is to be quiet and just listen, see. Second phase is once we can hear it, we have to learn to trust it. And third phase is once we learn to trust it, we have to learn to act on it. And so every day we have so many opportunities, so many moments, little moments of beauty, little moments of love, little moments of wisdom, but we're ignoring them. We're focused on all the problems. And so that's why through presence, by slowing down, you start to pick up all of these opportunities that we're having every day. What simple philosophy, teachings, books do you suggest? anything from the sages and enlightened masters, because the sage is like a mama bird. It chews everything into little bits and then spits it into the mouth of the baby so they can understand. Otherwise, we can never access. It's all philosophical, intellectual. What we need is the direct experience of those who have tasted, realized the truth. For example, if I want to learn violin, I want to play with a master violinist. And the same way, we need anything that's been, most of the books now are written by academics, right? And so this is like someone groping in the dark. But the sages and enlightened masters are, the words themselves are coming from that place of truth. And so the vibration, everything, it has a different power behind it. The second one is so you have the Bible, right? And you have like the Quran. But the real Quran, the real Bible, the real Vedas is blank pages. Right? So we have to learn how to read. The real Bible is here and now, is this present moment. And so when we can read the books from the sages for inspiration, but then we must very carefully read the book of our life, read the book of this moment. Otherwise, again, it's just distraction. We're putting it off. We want, oh, what does this person say? What about this person? What about that person? But really what we needed to do is to be more engaged, more involved in our immediate environment in daily life. And that's where this is the classroom. This is the yoga mat. It's not a piece of plastic. The yoga mat is this present moment, here and now. Ask 2 questions. So when we Om, do we Om into the parts of the body like the navel, heart, throat, middle of the brain? Do we direct the energy there or just up and down the spine? When we Om, direct the energy to that point. When we're Oming at the different points in the spine, first you direct your breath there. First you breathe from that place. And you'll feel a different type of tension or contraction in the different areas at different times. And then you Om into that place. And then watch it. And then breathe it up. And then do it in the next one. Like an elevator, going up and up and up. So you work at that particular junction point for filtering, cleaning. Why should stillness be the goal? It can feel like a selfish goal at times when there's so much in the world calling for our own attention. What about action? What about acting for a better world? Yes. So what we're not talking about being still 24 hours a day. That would be impossible. I would love to say even to be still for an hour or 2 a day would essentially be impossible for most people. What we're talking about is creating a counterpart, because now we're just spinning out an action without any center, without a foundation. So the stillness, right? The silence is the foundation. The words come from the silence. In the same way, the stillness, action comes from the stillness. And so when you're grounded, rooted in yourself, when you're in that presence, then your actions will also be grounded and rooted and in tune and in harmony. And so we're not calling for everyone to be still all the time. That would be impossible. Even when I'm still, is the life inside of me still? We're talking about stillness now. Is life still now? No, not at all. It's a storm. It's a whole universe in here. So the stillness is not actually a thing in itself. It's a pointer. We're pointing you to be grounded in yourself. Right? It's like a compass. The compass needs to be properly calibrated. Now our inner compass is totally fucked. Right? And so we need how to calibrate the compass through the stillness. But the stillness isn't stillness. Your breath is moving, the vibration, everything is. The stillness is just a container which allows for life to organize itself, something like that. And so action is important, but the action should be born from that proper right intention, right thinking. And so for that we need to be in tune. Otherwise we're out of tune, then we're all over the place. And so that's why we recommend to dedicate a little bit of time each day, 30 minutes, right? In the 30 minutes, actually the asana is the movement. Then the stillness is very short. So the stillness but a little pinch of stillness can go a long way. And this is a working hypothesis. This is the only reason we're saying this because this is what works. This has been passed down for thousands of years. So try it out and see. We've tried everything. We have taken all the pills, all the machines, all cut everything up and put. Nothing has worked. Right? What about the stillness? It's something very radical. Right? Like in the seed, in the small seed, in the stillness of the small seed, you have everything. All the power, infinite, everything is contained in that. So also within you, you have this too. And so the stillness is the gateway into, back home into yourself. And then that will express itself as the aliveness, right? The action is the aliveness. Of course, you can't not express yourself. Life, the river's flowing, the fire's burning, the trees are growing. Life can't stop from expressing itself. You can't do it. There's no way out. But all we're saying is do that from a place of in-tuneness. First, make sure you're in tune. It sounds good. Now you have to find out, is it possible? Can I tune myself? Can I be in tune? And then, does being in tune improve the quality of my daily life? I have a hunch that it will. And it's so important to keep it simple. Simple practice. Daily practice, the recommendation is do the same practice every day. Means, for example, the spinal sequence. Then I just start and I do this one. And then I do the other side. And then I watch. Then next one. In the same order, every day. Same thing in the same order for the same length of time. Strong recommendation, use a timer. Use the timer, otherwise very difficult to be accountable. If I put 1 minute on the timer and then I start and do it, or I'm doing forward bend 1 minute and then I hold it, right? That if I don't use the timer, then my mind is always, oh, how long, this, that. But if you have a timer and you've committed, then you're able to really to go deep and be present with all these other layers. If you don't have a fixed program plan that you're doing, then you'll never be able to keep it. There's, oh, what do I feel like today? Maybe this, maybe that. You do it for a few days and then it's gone. Right? So the best is you have a fixed program that you do, you repeat that 100 times. Some days you have extra time, you can always do more. You can always do more. You can always add stuff on. But don't do less. The focus of the daily practice is like taking a shower. It's like brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth is good, you brush your hair is good. If it's possible to comb your heart, to brush your heart, to clean your heart, for sure you must do it. If it's possible to clean your nervous system, to clean your mind, then we should do it. And so this is a proposal, a hypothesis, working hypothesis that is not, I didn't create this, this has been thousands of years passed down from teachers to students. And so I recommend to investigate for yourself. Right? A small change can make a big difference. If you're playing a sport like golf, little way that you hold it or swing or breathe can make a huge difference. So if you can shift the way you hold your spine, the way that you breathe, the way that you focus, this can make a radical difference in your daily life. Radical difference. Oh, 11 o'clock, perfect. Thanks for listening, everyone. Let's take a moment to be still. Sit up tall, inhale deeply, close your eyes. For a moment, be quiet. Forget all the words. Beneath the words is the space. So the words are only meant to bring you back into that space of presence. Be quiet. Inhale deeply. Whoa.